This is Michael Gerace with Clearview Sewer Cams and Michelangelo's Plumbing. It is April 6th, 2021. We're performing a video sewer inspection through the backwater valve area that was just installed recently. I want to go out and take a look. We're primarily interested in being able to see the concrete lateral in the street. It appeared that there was a break or a good size hole in the concrete piping. I want to get out there and take a good look at it. See exactly what's going on. We're going to begin running our camera through the backwater valve area. Backwater valve was installed here. Right back behind us is our tankless water heater on the wall, and you can see here that we're heading out toward the street. I'm going to go ahead and insert our camera. Begin running through. We had quite a bit of root intrusion in this joint. You can see the remnants of the roots. Most of them were cut out, but there's still quite a bit of remnants there. Got a fairly good sized gap there on the left hand side especially. You can see the nicks in the piping where they kind of blast the piping to try and get the roots out. They actually blow part of the pipe, the face of it off. And here we have a major break that is right in front of us. And we marked this area out the last time we were here with a red crayon, and it's still there. A major crack there. There was quite a bit of root intrusion there. Now we're making a turn. Okay, had some debris on the camera lens. We got that off. We had some root intrusion, a little separation here. Kind of chipped up the pipe there. We had some root intrusion on the top. You can see the remnants toward the top of the joint. There's quite a bit of roots in this piping. That joint's got a little bit of an offset separation, not terrible. That joint looks to be lined up pretty well. That joint looks to be lined up pretty well. That joint looks to be lined up fairly well. We had some pretty good root intrusion in this joint. There's still some remnants there, which is very common. Had quite a bit of root intrusion in this joint. And there is a crack all the way around that pipe. You can see it leading from about the 6 o'clock area, goes in and sweeps up toward the 12 o'clock area, goes all the way around. You can see it again down over by the 3 o'clock area, and peaking at the 12 o'clock area and coming down. A pretty large crack. Can't tell if that's a crack or just a marking in the vitreous clay. It doesn't look that deep. We'll blow that up and take a look at that on our laptop back at the office. That joint appears to be in fair condition. Now we transition to the city sewer lateral. This is concrete piping. Had some root intrusion there a little bit. Have a good sized crack right there as well. Right off to the left, about the 7 o'clock area, you go real slow. You can see that's cracked pretty well right there. Down at the bottom left hand corner of the screen. We're going to go real slow and take a look at this piping. Looks like there's some minor cracking right at about the 9 o'clock area in the piping, but we'll look at that a little bit closer as well when we blow this up on the laptop, which appear to be in fair and maintainable condition. Pass some debris in there. We're really concerned with, I think it was pretty close to the city sewer tie-in connection, is where we saw the hole in the piping. There's a little bit of cracking there. And some debris there. Get in the city sewer and rinse our camera lens off, and then we come back, it'll be a little bit easier too to see. We have some debris on our camera lens, so we're going to push all the way out now. Push out to our city sewer tie-in connection, which is coming up right here. Rinse our camera lens off. Pulling back, and we're pulling back into our concrete sewer piping. This is our vitreous clay saddle area. A little bit of an offset here, not terrible. You can see this a lot better now. Coming back slowly. Make a little bit of a turn right here. That joint's got a little bit of a gap on that left-hand side. It shifted a little bit. Shifted quite a bit, from what I can see from the top. But right there, we're not too concerned with that area though. We do have we had some very large root intrusion on this right-hand side. You can see the remnants of the roots at about the 3 o'clock area. Back slowly. Just want to make sure. It appeared that we had a big hole in the piping, which could have just been a shadow on the camera lens, or could have been some debris. Very hard to tell. But so far, it doesn't look as bad as what we had anticipated, which is good. We do have a little opening in the joint right there. A little tiny bit of an opening in the concrete piping in the joint. Again, a little bit there, but not terrible. And then we have the root intrusion. So we don't look as bad as what I had anticipated it to look, which is good. So this area could be lined. And we're going to pause for a moment. We're going to locate this area. We're going to pause. Okay, we marked this area at 10 foot 4 inches deep on the hill. And we're going to continue to pull back. I've already viewed everything in the vitreous clay. Right here we have major cracks all in the vitreous clay right here. Root intrusion. Cracks there. You see it at the bottom at the 7 o'clock area. Offset there. Some root intrusion there. Root intrusion there. Then we make our turn. We mark this out on the concrete, 2 foot 8 inches deep. And had major root intrusion, offset, break right there. And we're coming back toward our backwater valve. There was some major root intrusion in that joint. We're up and out of our backwater valve. So we're going to put an estimate together. And I'm going to run out. We had a little issue with our counter on our camera. So we're going to run another camera real quick. I'll pause for a moment. We're going to begin running through our backwater valve again. We've got our counter. We're going to zero out our camera monitor so we get a good accurate reading. Okay, we're zeroed and we're in. See, we have the root intrusion there. Root intrusion there. Make our turn. Root intrusion here. A lot of chipping from the hydrojetting. Primarily want to get our measurement from the hillside. Double check it. Double check our depth and double check our length. That's some root intrusion there. And this is our concrete piping. So we're going to pause there and we're going to locate. Okay, we marked this area again at 10 foot 4 inches deep on the hillside. You can see there's a pretty good bit of cracking right there on that left hand side where it's broken right here. Just pull back right there. Our time 32.8. We're going to go in, get our measurement. Then we'll pull back slow and get some pretty good cracking right there on the side. Root intrusion. Bit of a turn there. Then we come into our vitreous clay saddle area, a little bit of an offset, minor offset, and then our city. So we would try to go as far as we can with the liner. We would go to about right in there. Might need a top hat liner as well to support this area. We got a fairly large offset right there. Got about a 26 to 28 foot liner, and then possibly a top hat. We'll pull back. A little bit. Pull back slow right here. I'm just going to pull back slow right there. Pull back slow. That's a pretty large root intrusion there too. And then we transition right here to our vitreous clay. And we've marked out all these areas. And right here we got about 30 feet of vitreous clay to replace. We're about 10 foot 4 inches deep on the hill. I'm just going to pull all the way back to our backwater valve. Continue to pull back. And that will conclude the video sewer reinspection.